Amy Pelly, and I am an English teacher and the director of theater here at Rice Lake High School, and this is my 24th year in education, my 24th year in the district. I've been using philosophies behind UDL for quite some time, although I really found some new tricks and interesting ways to just up that student engagement in my classroom this year, and so I really liked specific things. And the area that I really focused on more of my learning and trials was in my British literature class, and it's a high-level cum laude, laude-appointed class for juniors and seniors, and in 9 weeks you cannot do British literature justice, so I pick some core pieces of literature that we for sure need to touch on, and then I do a lot of choice. So 3 that my students are showcasing and then I would just reference quickly are my multiple intelligence projects. So they use one or multiple of their intelligences that we've kind of talked about, and they learn something that relates to either British literature or the United Kingdoms and or its other principalities, and they find something of interest and they find a text that then uses is their base for a multiple intelligence project. Some of those are presented, some of those are electronic projects, some of those are paper or stories. They run the gamut, and what's super interesting is that we don't know exactly what we're going to learn, but what we do learn is always way more interesting than what I would have decided myself. So it always keeps me open and fresh to new ideas. Along that lines, I really liked page 205 on the tech tools, and I used that and shared it with my class. In fact, I created a Powtoon about page 205 showing them, Mrs. Pelly, using that technology, and my encouragement was that's another way to show what you know, is using one of these new tech tools. And I had students who created websites to show what they know, or Powtoons, or even some of the other Animotos and S'more and Flipsnack and Boki, and that was kind of cool to see the electronic projects come out of some of the students who are so used to doing a PowerPoint or writing a paper. I also took a leap this year, and rather than just assign the standard Macbeth essay, I provided some choice there. And so I had seen something on my Facebook feed, and so this year students could either do the standard Macbeth essay or they could do a graphic essay, and I got some great results now out of that, and I know that we had some students showcase some of theirs, and I will hang on to some of those samples so it will be easier to teach in the future now that I've got some great points of reference. It still did all of the high-end thinking that I wanted those students to do in terms of literary analysis, but it broke that mold of the 5-paragraph essay. But at the same time, it honored those students who wanted to just do a standard essay. If that's the skill they needed to practice and they wanted to do that as well, they could do that. So I like that choice. And then my book is full of just wonderful variety of Brit-lit stories, and we don't have time for everything. So the fact that I give them a menu and I give them some guidelines and parameters, but then they have some choice of which of those stories they want to read or which of those stories they want to avoid. And I think that's also an important option. And I saw high student engagement, great student conversation, independent work time, so I could one-on-one with a student while other kids could just kind of rise to the occasion. And all of those things are things that really were fostered in my Brit-Lit this year, and because I had read UDL now.
For me, I like to have a little bit of more hands-on than not. So in class, we like to sit together a lot and kind of be close-knit, I guess so to say, in the classroom, and we will read, we'll act out skits, and we just work on being able to, I guess, understand each other a little more in the class, which helps with the material we kind of related back to one another. And so this, with being able to choose projects and the way we learn them and relating them back to this topic of British literature and Old English and things like that, it helps us understand, I guess, the nature of the British Isles, I guess, since that's what we're learning about, you know. And so being able to relate it to modern day and things that we enjoy, yeah, it's just really nice. So I guess we'll start with this project. So what I wanted to what I was really interested in was the choice of how we get to pick what we want to learn about um, from the British Isles. And so what I was really fascinated with, so for my first project, I wanted to show and share with the class where folk music comes from and what makes it folk music. And so we talk about this thing in class called multiple intelligences, and art and mathematics and things like that all fall into that category. And something that I don't really think I have is that artistic ability. So wanting to show the connection, these lines represent, so say folk music starts in Ireland, but then it'll travel to Scotland, and then from Scotland it'll travel to England. And so the lines just represent that. But I wanted to show, I didn't want to make a small map, and I wanted something bigger. So I sat down and freehanded this map of the British Isles. And so it was just, I don't know, being able to express who I am that way, or have the choice to try something new like art or something like that. It just, I don't know, it makes me really happy, and it helps me understand the topic a little better, personally. And so, yeah.
Okay, so I'm Tegan, and I had Mrs. Pelly a lot this year. I had her for AP Literature, so I had to write a lot of standard essays for her, and I just was kind of really tired of the standard essays. So in this class, when she introduced the graphic essay, it was nice to have that choice between standard and graphic, because then I could choose this, and it was something new for me instead of just writing out another essay. So you had to write your thesis to go with it, and then on Macbeth, I did mine based off of how his immoral actions outweigh his moral actions, so that instead of her reading that out, she saw the image instead and then just read the quotes and their different analyses on the back. So that was really nice to have that choice to go with it. And then we have our other projects just about the British Isles and everything, and that's nice to have your own choice to learn learn what you want to learn instead of everyone researching the same thing, because then during presentations you just keep hearing the same thing and you're tired of hearing that. So it's nice to hear all the different things that people are interested in and see the different ways that they express themselves and their learning. This has been beneficial to me because it helps me to learn in a way that it's easiest for me to learn, instead of a teacher just forcing on you, do this, and make it on this. I can learn how it's easiest for me to learn. I'm a very musical person, and I like to draw and read, so I can write things and I can attach music to it, and that's so much easier than having to do math for everything or having to do what's given to me in a certain structure.
We have to read different works of British literature, but we have to do 5, so we're given a recommended list, and we have 5 different ways on how we can turn that in. We could annotate it, summarize it, analyze it, connect it to other stuff, which is really nice. So if we're not good at one, we could just go to the one we're good at. And we have to do 3 mandatory projects for Britlit, and so I made a storybook. So we get to choose what we do. We are still told we have to do it, but at least we choose how we do it. We learn it the way we are strongest at.
I guess we learn more from this class than we do with any other class because it's more hands-on. So when we do projects like this, I do the Treasures of the United Kingdom, it teaches me more about that certain region and other places around the world.
I like that we can choose what we do. You don't just get assigned a topic and say, here, do research on this. You can actually pick something that you're interested in.
I like how we can choose what way we want to show other students our project and the teacher. So in my project, I did a visual type of thing, and then instead of having to write a paper describing certain pieces of art, I just have them here so that people can look at them.
Nice. So how do you feel like this has helped your learning as opposed to maybe a more traditional method?
I feel like it increased it because you know new ways to explore. Like you find new ways to find research online and everything.
I think it helps because it gives us some motivation to do something that we think of ourselves and not just what the criteria tells us we got to do.
It doesn't feel as much like work because you're actually interested in the topic.
This is Annika. I'm a junior in Mrs. Pelly's British literature class. These are two of the projects that I've done for some of our slightly different project learning. This one was one of our 3 required projects, and this one I did for Macbeth, which is what we've been doing the past couple weeks. So this project, or as I say, with the 3 projects that we have to do over the course of the class, we have to choose something that has to do with the British Isles. It can be anything. Like a lot of people did stuff on the royal family because of the royal wedding. Some people did stuff on music, some people on British literature. It can be anything British. And you choose like a project. It can be pretty much anything. Like I made a model horse armor. Some people did presentations. Some people made prezzies. And then you go and you research about it, and you just learn about it, and then you have to present it either in a museum, which is where we put out all the projects and then people go by and look, or in a presentation where you talk to the class. So that was what this one was. This was a museum piece. I looked up like the history of horses and the role in Great Britain and their armor, because I thought that was really interesting. So mine was a museum piece where each of these numbers corresponds to a piece of text that I wrote about each of the names, and then people would go by and look about that, and they could learn about it that way. And then this, for Macbeth, it's called a graphic essay, and we had to have a theme, a contrasting theme. Mine was sanity and insanity, and then we have to have at least 3 quotes for each and explain them and support our thesis with it. So then we had to come up with an image. Mine was the cauldron and darkness and light, and use color as an organizational device, darkness and light, and also the fire. And then these we didn't present, we did it like a museum piece, and people would go by and walk and look at it. So that's the projects that I did. I really enjoy learning like this. I think it's really fun, and I learned a lot more. Like my first project I did on moors in the British Isles, and I made a terrarium. And just got to learn a lot about the folklore and stuff like that, and it's a much better, at least in my opinion, I think it's a much better way of learning than just like everyone does a project on one thing, and then we all kind of look at the same thing, and none of us really learn anything new. And when it's required like that, it's just not as interesting.